Hello, my name is Jazmin Cantos. Cystine crystal in bone marrow. Definition. Definition is aminoaciduria due to defective cystine transport and the basic amino acid angiotensin and lysine in the apical membrane of the intestinal epithelium and renal proximal tubule. The result is advance of cystine resorption in the renal proximal tubule, producing an excess of cystine in urine and with the consequent formation of renal calculi. Video.
Cystinuria is an autosomal recessive disease caused by defect of an amino acid transporter in the proximal tubule of kidneys. This defect prevents proper reabsorption of basic or positively charged amino acids including cysteine, ornithine, lysine and arginine. Inability to reabsorb these amino acids causes them to become concentrated in the urine. Cysteine is a dimeric amino acid formed by a sulfide bond between two cysteine residues. Accumulation of cysteine in the urine can cause accumulation of cysteine which can precipitate out of the urine, resulting in kidney stones. Cystine crystals form hexagonal shaped crystals and can be seen under microscopic analysis of the urine. These crystals can enlarge to form staghorn kidney stones as well. If not treated properly, the disease can cause serious damage to the kidneys. Stones can be identified by a positive nitroprusside test. Initial treatment is adequate hydration and alkalization of the urine with acetazolamide because the cystine stones are more likely to precipitate in acidic urine. However, once large renal stones have formed, surgery may be required to remove them.
Application in medicine. No divisive therapy should be carried out to prevent recurrence in the formation of stone. This therapy could be based on high fluid intake, alkalination of urine, and usage of gelatin agent. With preserved renal function, the combination of these three therapy measures is necessary to reduce the recurrence and more disease of the site. Video.
Cystinosis, a genetic disease characterized by the widespread deposition of amino acid cysteine in cells due to a defect in cysteine transport. Cysteine normally forms after protein degradation and is transported from structures called lysosomes into the cytoplasm. In cystinosis, cysteine accumulates in the lysosomes and eventually forms crystals throughout the body. Cystinosis is therefore the lysosomal storage disease. The disease is inherited in an autosomal recessive manner. The gene that is mutated in the disease is symbolized CDNs and has been mapped to chromosome 17 to region 17p13.1. It encodes the protein cystinosin which transports cysteine. The initial symptoms of cystinosis are renal and appear between 6 and 12 months of age. The accumulation of cysteine results in what is called the renal Fanconi syndrome, the failure of the tubules in the kidney to reabsorb small molecules, causing increased urinary loss of electrolytes sodium, potassium, bicarbonate minerals, glucose, amino acids, and water. These losses result in biliruria, excessive urination, polydipsia, excessive intake of fluid, dehydration from the excess urination, hypophosphatemia, rickets due to loss of phosphate in the urine, and growth retardation due to the renal disease. Photophobia, excess sensitivity of the eye to light, occurs between mid-childhood and adolescence due to accumulation of cysteine crystals in the cornea. Cysteine storage in the thyroid leads to hypothyroidism usually around age 10. Intelligence remains normal. Treatment of the renal Fanconi syndrome is by replacing the renal losses and supplementing with citrate to alkalinize the blood. Phosphate replacement prevents and heals the rickets. Vitamin D helps the intestinal absorption of phosphate. The outlook with this disease changed for the better with cysteine depletion therapy using cysteamine cystatin, which depletes
Pros and cons. Cystinuria is found among the congenital errors of metabolism of the most frequent amino acid, with the only clinical manifestation now as the formation of cystine stone. Before advancing with a diagnostic of cystinuria could not use the same therapeutic approaches to any other type of renal lithiasis, as they are calculation of strength hardness and it is higher of recurrence, thus does not allow the use of conventional techniques lithotripsy. Pro. It is very important that once a successful diagnosis is made, preventive measures are implemented to minimize the recurrence. High fluid intake, alkalination of urine. It is necessary to identify the therapeutic measure based of particular relevance, the choice of the situated video.
We are in Charlotte, North Carolina. The reason that we are here is to bring together adults with cystinosis. The point of this event was to get patients together and have some real honest conversations. I really want us as adults to be able to help our future generations.
This weekend's event was described as Future by Design. This is a live event. No influencers, no enablers. It's just the individuals that have that disease.
The adults with cystinosis now is really the first group of adults with cystinosis that are healthy. I think a lot of us were told that we would die at a very young age. We're not anymore. We're here, and we are healthy, and we want to see future generations get even farther. I mean, personally, I feel like I've kind of gotten this extra 20 some odd years, and I would love to see future generations not even think about that, like not think about when they're gonna die. They have this disease, and they now have the tools to be able to deal with it.
The difference between this one, and I've been to a few other small town halls and some of the big conferences, is it just seems like it's more patient driven.
Family members, they do try to understand, but it helps to have someone who has cystinosis that knows what you're going through when you're growing up and how you can vent to them, whereas your parents or sisters or brothers, they might not understand and see it as a weakness. We would see it as a strength, and you just need someone to help you through that hard time.
We all go through similar situations, but we all have our success stories. We all have our fight story. One of them being that another mom is here. There's not many mothers in our community, and she has 2 children, and I think that's just awesome. It is inspiring.
Some of these patients I came this weekend, I've never met before. Even though they've been to the conferences, we've all been there, but there's so many people that you don't have time to sit there and be like, oh, what's your name? Every time somebody else learns something new and shares it, it's getting our voices heard. We're becoming something more than just a person with a rare disease. We're becoming that family that's going to be heard.
It kind of gives you a boost of self-confidence. It kind of makes you think about things also. And it just opens your mind just that much more to, hey, I really need to get a hold of this. I need to do what I can. And if there's something I want to do, I can do it.
I think if you're an adult who is interested in getting more involved, this is a great place to start.
Is to applicate in Ecuador. In Ecuador, in the city of Guayaquil, they made a prospective observational study to determine renal lithiasis in 100 patients between the average age and 39 years, of which 54 cases of lithiasis were diagnosed by ultrasound. UROTAC detects in 88 18 people with renal calculus. Therefore, graded levels of lithium was detected with UROTAC1 video.
It's important for new people and for old people to remind them that they're not alone, and for new people to help them navigate this new area that they maybe have never experienced. For the old people, it's a good reminder that you're not alone. It's a support system that's heavily needed, and it provides an opportunity for people to mentor the new people, which is important because a lot of times the best way to remind yourself to keep going is to have somebody else there to help.
To have a community of patients and families means to be able to have the support of people who understand for what you're going through each day in our life with cystinosis.
It means the world to have a community of patients and families. To me, it's a great support system, and it just lets you know that you're not alone.
Conclusion. In the pediatric Weir-Motz case, our diagnosis maintaining a high intake of fluids is very difficult to implement, so alkalination and use of gelatin compounds will be the alternative treatment. Periodic control of the cystine levels in urine is also necessary to the doses of the treatment and to evaluate the response of the dose. Video.
It involves the community. It keeps you up to date on things going on, and you just get to build friendships, rekindle friendships, and meet families they haven't met yet.
I feel it's very important to attend a CRN conference to know all the new researches that are being done for cystinosis. Also to meet and live with families that go through the same thing that you are.
I think for newly diagnosed children, it's important to know they are not alone. For parents, it's important to know that they are not alone and to be united, to be accepted, to learn and to know that this disease is treated and to see how it could be treated the best, to learn from the doctors, to learn from the nurses, from psychologists, and to help each other. I think it's invaluable.
I feel it's important to attend a CRN conference for the connection to people who know what you're going through, and also to be there for new people. There's not many people in this world that know what it's like to live with cystinosis. The exception to that is the people who come to this conference. You meet new people who are just starting their journey with cystinosis, and you meet people who have been living with it for a long time. And that connection and that support system is really important.